What's going on, y'all? It's your boy D Sports, man. Crazy news, right? So, the Dallas Mavericks win the NBA draft lottery. So, obviously, you have the top 14 picks. Multiple teams have about from a highest of 14% all the way down to less than 2%. The Dallas Mavericks had a 1.8% odds. They had 1.8% odds to get the number one overall pick, and they got it. They made it into the top four. So it's number one, you got the Mavs. Number two, you got the Spurs. Number three, the Sixers got into the lottery, and they were able to keep their pick, and now they get the third overall pick. And then the Charlotte Hornets get the fourth overall pick. So crazy thing here. I'm finna look up basically the odds list to just kind of give you a rundown of everything. But how about it, right? Immediately, what a chaotic and crazy offseason has been for the Dallas Mavericks. They shocked the entire world by trading Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers for basically that bargain of a trade. Now, Anthony Davis is he's no scrub at all. But obviously, right, you trade, a global superstar, not even at his prime yet, to one of the most historic franchises in the league. And obviously Luka, right? So obviously, it didn't quite go well for Luka, right? In the end, they got taken out by the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Ant-Man in five, pairing with LeBron James. But he'll have a full off season to kind of get his thoughts and everything in order. He is eligible for a contract extension. He is committed to the Lakers. He is expected to extend with the Lakers. So we'll see that go through. But Cooper Flagg is likely going to be a Maverick. That's if Nico Harrison obviously doesn't be an already idiot that he already is and, does not draft him. But it is expected now. Or they could go star hunting and, package that number one overall pick to go get a superstar. At this point, you've got Anthony Davis. Kyrie Irving's obviously injured, but I think Cooper Flagg, look, you need your next future superstar. Get your next superstar, and don't continue. In my opinion, look, I get being aggressive and going and get another superstar would be great, but get a guy who, in my opinion, has the talent and the upside to elevate your franchise and really also change your franchise, right? Maybe in my opinion, right, Luka won't be as good Cooper Flagg won't be as good as Luka was in Dallas, but in my opinion, he has the talent and the upside to basically, right, you just traded a global superstar, actually inherit Cooper Flagg and build around him, and then I don't expect him to have weight issues, right? And basically he'll be a problem where you then have to trade him in the future. I think Cooper Flagg is a player that you can build around for the next decade plus. So, that'll be that there, right? And look, Cooper Flagg is, to me, he's the consensus number one player in this draft. He's 6'9". He's about 15 pounds. He's only 18 years old. He's a 3-level scorer, an elite defender, can play defense, plays well in the post. He's got that dog in him too. He's just a warrior out there, goes to the rim and throws it down with force. And you pair him with Anthony Davis in the front court, a Daniel Gafford, in a Derek Lively, and then he'll just add more firepower and juice, as you'll need that with Kyrie Irving now expected to miss a lot of, if not all, of the 2025 coming NBA season. So, but this, to me, I wanted to highlight too in this video how rigged the NBA system is. It's very kind of simple how the NFL and baseball and maybe other sports too, how literally if you're the worst team in the league, you get the number one overall pick. It's simple as that. The Washington Wizards, I believe, had the worst record in the NBA. They only won like 16, 17 games. They got the 6th overall pick. So, but in my opinion, I ain't complaining though, because I didn't want Cooper Flagg to go to the Wizards. I didn't want him to go to the Hornets, and I didn't want him to go to the Pelicans just because of, like, again, Anthony Davis, seeing how things went there in the end, Zion Williamson, how it's gone throughout Zion's tender and the injuries and all that stuff. And now, and even too, like, yeah, he would be a nice compliment to LaMelo Ball, but I don't see Cooper Flagg. To me, he doesn't need to be in Charlotte, and I don't think Charlotte is just a team you can elevate per se. Like Charlotte, they haven't been good for years at all. They just haven't. They've just been the same kind of. They've maybe had, when LaMelo got there was promise, but it really, with him being injured all the time, and Miles Bridges with his off the court issues, it really kind of, that team is just, and Michael Jordan selling the team as well, they just haven't really been the same. So, but we're gonna look up to like the full lottery list, NBA lottery list. It's very crazy how this was. So this was the odds. So the Washington Wizards, Washington Wizards and the Hornets were tied with the highest odds to get the number 1 pick. This is per CBS Sports with 14%. The New Orleans Pelicans had a 12.5%. Philadelphia 76ers 10.5%. Nets at 9%. The Toronto Raptors at 7.5%. And the Spurs, now they get the number 2 overall pick. And they were at 6% and what have you. So it's very, 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 very crazy indeed. And then too, so as you see, we got the lottery too. So the Mavs, they win the lottery. They're at number 1, number 2 at the Spurs, number 3 with the Hornets. Number 4, you have the Hornets. 3, the 76ers, my apologies. 5, Jazz. 6, Wizards. And then this list that they have on here is messed up. They block off some of them. Okay, so here's the official lottery. Number 1, you have the Mavs. Number 2, you have the Spurs. 3, you have the Sixers. 4, the Hornets. 5, the Jazz. 6, you have the Wizards. 7, the Pelicans. 8, the Nets. Toronto at 9. Houston Rockets via the Suns from their trades. The Rockets, they have the 10th overall pick. Portland has the 11th overall pick. Chicago at 12. My Atlanta Hawks have the 13th overall pick. They also have the 22nd, so 2 first-round picks for them. The Spurs, they have another lottery pick at 14, so 2 lottery picks, and that's the NBA lottery there. So, right, so the highest odds, right, were the Hornets, the Jazz, they had 2 of the highest odds, but obviously the Jazz, they get the 5th pick, and then the Wizards, they get the 6th pick. So it's very kind of crazy, too, how those teams, they're not even 2 in the top 3 as well. San Antonio is very interesting because they have 2 lottery picks. They could either, again, use those picks, draft both players. The projected number 2 pick, from what I'm hearing, is going to be Dylan Harper from Rutgers, the guard. They could use another. It'll be interesting because, as you know, the Spurs, they have, I think really now they just need to continue to add to their front court because you trade for De'Aaron Fox, you have Stephon Castle, Rookie of the Year. Your front court, your back court is set with those 2 guys, those 2 incredible athletes there. So maybe you add to your front court, or again, you can trade and continue to build around Wemby and Fox, and then you have Castle, of course, as well. But for Dallas, I mean, too, getting Flagg, but it's just crazy. And LeBron James, he posted laughing out loud emojis, and he's pretty much right. Because last year, my Hawks, when we got the number 1 overall picks, we had like an 8% chance. Or no, we had a 4% chance of winning the lottery. Mind you, we were a playing team, and they won the lottery. And it's crazy. And it's basically, it's gonna make it seem like Nico Harrison, right, in your face type thing, right after trading Luka Doncic. You see what happens? Nah, bro, this was just a gift. But again, I'm not complaining because Cooper Flagg, I mean, going to Dallas compared to going to like Washington and New Orleans and Charlotte, Utah ain't bad, but going there is better than going to those other places for sure. It's just the system and how the NBA has it set up. It's just crazy. And LeBron was right. Like, you have him, a hometown kid from Ohio. He plays for the obviously, and LeBron wasn't complaining at all or nothing like that. He wasn't trying to seem like he was ungrateful. He very was. He's just he's showing how kind of crazy the system is. The Mavs they were the 4th lowest odds of all time. Compared to the Magic, I think in 93, the Cavs, 2011, that was a draft with Kyrie Irving at 2.8%, I believe it was. And I think the Chicago Bulls went there as well. So they had the 4th lowest odds of all time at 1.8%. And it's just very crazy, man, how they got it. But again, I mean, hey, props, you get salute to the Mavs, man. After thinking they're going to be sent back for years to come, after the Luka trade, they get the number 1 overall pick. They get blessed, so hey, we can say what we want, but they got blessed. They got it. They got the pick. it's just crazy. So now, in my opinion, I think you keep this pick, you take Cooper Flagg, and you move forward. And I think Cooper Flagg, look, build around him as your next superstar, and don't look. Luka's gone now. This let this be the superstar that you actually don't mess up and not take or pay or none of that. Because the Dallas Mavericks too, they have a tendency of just not paying their stars. Jalen Brunson, seeing what he's doing with the Knicks right now, right? You know, you don't pay him. Obviously, you didn't want to pay Luka because of the issues and stuff. They get rid of him. Quentin Grimes is another under the radar guy, but again, a guy that they literally had in their building, and they traded him, and he went out and balled for the Sixers this past season after getting traded there. They just have a knack of just not paying and keeping key guys who are really good contributors. And, you know, hopefully this is not the case with Cooper Flagg. It's just very crazy, man. I know Ace Bailey's in this draft. There's the guy from Baylor. This draft is definitely more talented than it was from last year. Definitely a bit more top heavy. There's a consensus number one pick compared to last year, where it was anyone from Donovan, Klingler, Risache, who ended up being the pick, and others. And Stephon Castle was even in the consideration. Reed Shepherd, a lot of those guys, they were in consideration for the number one overall pick. So it's going to be Cooper Flagg regardless of who has the pick, unless, again, Nico Harrison just botches this and doesn't draft him. So, but that's going to be it for me today. It's late, so shout out to the Mavs again. NBA playoffs have been great. Shout out to the Timberwolves. They just took a 3-1 lead versus the Warriors. The New York Knicks, oh my gosh, my prediction was horrible. It was way off. It's about to be vice versa. Prayers for Jason Tatum. The Knicks up 3-1. Shout out to my boys John and Saya for their Knicks, man. Excited for them, but prayers for Jason Tatum. And the Pacers are up 3-1. Donovan Mitchell's down, and they have a chance to close out the series tomorrow. Let's see if they can get that done. It's a tied series between the OKC and Denver. That series has been it's kind of been disappointing. Shea and Nikola Jokic have struggled throughout this postseason. Shea's had some decent performances, but hasn't been shooting the ball well. Nikola Jokic has just not been shooting the ball well at all. So we'll see if these two can really ramp up, as obviously they're the top two MVP candidates and up discussion. So, but that's a tie competitive series, right? But y'all have a blessed one and stay safe. Peace.